Okay, L'Shana Tova, and welcome to this joyous occasion of our Rosh Hashana service. And we're now entering a new dimension. We're not only doing it on Zoom this time, as well as live here at Alpine, at the Alpine Community Center, which we used to call the Alpine Community House, which actually has been our spiritual home since 1992. If you can imagine that, so you get an idea of how old I am. And I just celebrated my birthday yesterday. So this is really the very first service that I'll be conducting this year. And perhaps a new milestone will begin for us. Everything is raging outside, things that we have no control over. Things were much different in 1992. I think January before we started, Scud missiles were being fired by Iraq, by Saddam Hussein, toward Israel, and at that time they called them what were the
Iron Shield?
The Iron Shield wasn't
the Iron Dome.
They were called
wasn't it the Iron Dome?
The Patriots. The Patriot
missiles
were shooting down the Scuds
Yeah.
on January of 1991, the beginning of 1991. And at that time, we started our congregation. We held our first services in people's homes, and then, of course, now because of the situation of the pandemic, we're back here on Zoom, and we're learning many things about it. Actually, people from way out of town are zooming in and rejoining our congregation. And I just spoke with a woman in California today who used to be a member, and when she lived in Bergen County, and now she's back with us just because of Zoom. So nice. I guess you could say there are some good things as well as all the terrible things going on. But we're going to begin our service with the traditional Hineni, which is a prayer that's traditionally sung by the Chazan, and he goes to the Holy Ark, the holiest of holies, and he stands before him as the emissary of the people, and he is asking God to be gentle and have mercy upon the community. And there's an awesome responsibility. He's not called a cantor, he's called a shliach tzibur, which is an emissary of the people to the Almighty. Well, I'm just a singing rabbi cantor. I'm not an emissary to the people, but if you listen to the words, you'll see how important they are. I'll be doing a part of them in Hebrew, a traditional Hineni chant, assisted by Cheryl Wirtz, who's come to our rescue. She's a very fine musician, organist, and singer, and we're glad to have her here as well. So we give the Hineni on page 18 in your Machzorim, which we call the Gates of Repentance. Hineni heyani mimahas ונפחד מפחד תהילות ישראל תהילות ישראל בסיר לעמוד והיכנע לפניך על עמך ישראל אשר שלחוני ואף על פי שהניח עיני והגול לך כן אבקש אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, ואלוהי יעקב. אדוני, אדוני, אלוהון, אלוהי ישראל, שדי הים ונורא, היה אני מצליח כי אשר אנוכי הולך לעמוד ולבקש רחמים עליי
Behold, of little merit, trembling and afraid, as I stand before you to plead for your people. O gracious God, the one enthroned by Israel's praises, compassionate and loving, accept my petition and that of my people. Let them not be put to shame because of me, nor I because of them. Sinners though we are, let our prayers come before you innocent and sweet and pleasing, as though from hearts more worthy than ours. Let love be the banner we raise in your sight, and let our love conceal all our sins and make them as though they had not been. Change our afflictions to joy and gladness, our misdeeds to acts of life. May our love of truth and peace remove all that hinders us from sincere and fruitful prayer. O God supreme, God of every age, God eternal, let my prayer find favor for the sake of the righteous, the loyal, the honest, the upright, and for the sake of your own glorious purpose on earth. For you are the one who in mercy hears our prayer. Blessed are you who hearkens to prayer.
And we turn back to now the page, is Lorraine here?
Does not appear as such. Oh, actually, you're not up right now. Our audio is off.
We continue now with the on page number 20. Page number 23. בחודש השביעי באחד לחודש יהיה לכם שבתות זיכרון תרועה, מקרא קודש, כל מלאכת עבודה לא תעשו. In the 7th month, on the first day of the month, there shall be a sacred assembly, a cessation from work, a day of commemoration, proclaimed by the sound of the shofar. And we call upon Rabbi Steve Meltz, who is our Baal Tekiah, has been and always will be. And so we now will be hearing the Tekiah Gedolah. Tekiah Gedolah. Sound the shofar when the new moon appears at the turning of the year, at the returning of our solemn celebration, for this is a statute binding on Israel, an ordinance of the God of Jacob.
Amen.
רצון לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהינו, שתקדש עמנו ועל כל בית ישראל את השנה הזאת, שלא תחמי איש אלפים ושבע מאות, ראשון של תשרי, לחיים ולשלום ולששון ולשבחה וישוע ולנחמה ונאמר אמן.
May it be your will, eternal of our God, God of all generations, that the year 5782 bring us and the whole house of Israel life and peace, joy and exaltation, redemption and comfort. And let us say Amen.
Together we say the call to worship, Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach, praise the eternal to whom our praise is due. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed, praise the eternal to whom our praise is due now and forever. הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומעביר בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, וחי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבי.
There was silence, there was chaos, there was a voice. A mind went forth to form worlds. Now order reigns where chaos once held sway.
The Lord makes evening fall, the Lord brings off the dawn.
The moon follows accustomed paths, constellations their pattern ways. Sovereign is the will that orders the stars in their courses in endless skies. Sovereign is that will.
And we continue now. Bottom of page 25. Sheldon and Eileen, would you read at the bottom of page 25 and how yielding is the will of our people Israel?
Unyielding is the will of our people Israel. After the long nights, after the days and years, when our ashes blacken the sky, Israel endures, heart still turns to love, and soul turning still to life.
So day and night, early and late, we will rejoice in the study of Torah.
We will walk
by the light of mitzvot. They are our life and the length of our days. Praise be the source of life and love, and Israel our people. And we say together the watchword of our faith, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Eternal is our God, the Eternal is one. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol miodecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shachbecha u'v'kumecha kshartam liot u'kshartam liot Adonai al yadecha Yehiyu latutafot beinenecha u'ksavtam amazuzot beisecha u'visharecha Laman tizkeru v'atitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzetzi etzchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lechem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Together we say, be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God,
who led you out of Egypt to be your God.
I am your eternal God. And Eileen Gelman, would you read responsibly, what does it mean to be a Jew?
What does it mean? Shall be holy.
We have we're having a muting problem. If you're not reading, please mute yourself.
Right.
Eileen, would you read what does it mean to be a Jew on page 27?
Okay. What does it mean to be a Jew? You know, there's too much noise. A lot of people are.
People, you have to mute yourselves unless we call you.
They're bothering me so much. There's some lady talking. There's a dog barking. Want me to start again?
Can you mute them? Mute everyone except Eileen Gelman.
Okay. What does it mean to be a Jew? You shall be holy.
In the face of the many, stand for the
In the presence,
In the face of many, to stand for one, in the presence of fragments, to make them whole.
what does it mean to be a Jew? You shall be a holy people.
To hold fast to our vision of truth, to retain our faith in
Retain our
tomorrow.
faith in tomorrow. Holy in our past is the memory of redemption from Egyptian bondage.
Holy in our day
Holy
is
in
the
our
hope
day
of
is the hope of
redemption
redemption
we shall still await.
Twice holy in our past are those who gave their lives to hallow the world.
Holy is
Holy
the
is
Jew
the Jew
today and tomorrow
who bears
witness to the goodness of life.
And holy are those whose lives are sung in freedom's cause.
We continue with the Micha Mocha on page number 28. Micha Mocha, Boilim Adonai. Micha Mocha, Nedar B'Kodesh. Nora Tehillah, Osei Feather. Malchutecha, Ra'u Vanecha. בוקי הים לפני משה, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד פזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Amen.
Continue on 29. Shall I give it out?
Where are you?
29.
Okay. May we lie down this night in peace and rise up to life renewed. May night spread over us a shelter of peace, of quiet and calm, the blessing of rest. There will come a time when morning will bring no word of war or famine or anguish. There will come a day of happiness, of contentment and peace. Praise be the source of joy within us for the night and its rest, for the promise of peace.
And we continue with the Reader's Kaddish at the bottom of page 29. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah V'yamad yifrah kirotei V'yamlich malchutei B'chayeichon uvyomeichon Uv'chayei dechor Beit Yisrael Ba'agala ובזמן הקריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי ולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבעתה ונחמתה דאמירן מעלמה ויאמרו Continue on page 30. Read the English of the Praise be our God.
Praise be our God, the God of our fathers and of our mothers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Leah, God of Rachel. Great, mighty, and awesome God, God supreme.
Ruler of all the living, your ways are ways of love. You remember the faithfulness of our ancestors, and in love bring redemption to their children's children for the sake of your name.
Remember us unto life, sovereign, who delights in life, and inscribe us in the book of life for your sake, O God of life.
We continue with the Zachrenu together.
לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכתבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכתבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים.
מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר הסוהרים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבול, מי דומה לך, מלך נעימים ומחיים, ומצמיח
Who is like you, mighty one? Who is your equal, author of life and death, source of salvation?
Who is like you, source of mercy? In compassion you sustain the life of your children.
We trust in you to restore our life. Blessed is the eternal one, source of all life.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who strive to be holy declare your glory day by day.
Okay, and we continue now on page 32. Dee Dee, are you here?
Yes.
Dee Dee, would you read Eternal God, cause all your works?
Eternal God, cause all your works to stand in awe before you, and all that you have made to tremble at your presence. Let all the lives revere you, and all creation turn to you in worship. Let them all become a single family, doing your will with a perfect heart. For well we know, eternal God, that yours is the majesty, yours the might, and awesome is your name in all creation.
Together, grant
And
honor to your people,
glory
to those who revere you, hope to those who seek you, and courage to those who trust you. Bless your land with gladness, and your city with joy, and cause the light of redemption to dawn for all who dwell on earth. And we're going to turn back now to the beginning for the blessing over the Yuntov lights. We call upon Everett Ferguson and Lorraine Ferguson to lead us. And this is on page number, what page?
17.
Page, no, beginning.
17.
It's right here.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu b'hadlik ner shel yom tov.
Blessed is the Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Yom Tov.
And we all say together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'hegianu lazman hazeh. Blessed is eternal God, ruler of the universe,
for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this season.
Where do we go back again?
Back to page 33. We were on 33. We want to go from here, but
Okay, and we come to page 33. Susan Penn, are you here?
We're at a Zoom meeting and
All right.
we can all eat together.
Susan Penn?
Don't see
Wouldn't
her.
that be nice? Just like in the old days.
I don't see
Is Susan Penn here?
I don't see her on the screen. No. Unless she's the iPhone or G.
Okay, well, we have Alan and Joan, would you read on page number 30,
33.
36?
I'm sorry, Rabbi, we don't have the prayer
Oh,
book
you don't
for
have
the
a prayer
service.
book? Okay,
I'm so sorry.
Martha, do you have a prayer book? Martha Colvin? No? Renee, do you have a prayer book? No.
Terrific.
Oh, Phyllis. My goodness, how are you? You don't have a prayer book either. Well, nice to see you. I haven't seen you in about 40 years. Okay. Yeah, this is the couple from California who used to be. Phyllis sang in our High Holy Day choir during the year, and
Nice.
was the mainstay of our congregation for many, many years. Let's see, who else do we?
So where are you?
Who can I call on? Come on. Who has the prayer book? Okay, Steve, I guess it's you.
Where are you?
Everett and I have a prayer book. We logged in and somehow we were on YouTube's and we had to log out and log in again, but we're here.
Okay, there we go.
All right, why don't you read for all these, why don't we read together on 37, and then Everett, you'll read.
We gratefully acknowledge.
Yep.
Together, let's read together. We gratefully
Gratefully
acknowledge that you
are
are
our
our
eternal
eternal
God,
God,
and God
God of our
God
people,
of our
the
people,
God of
God
all
of all
generations.
generations.
You are the
You
rock
are the
of
rock of
our life,
our life,
the
the
power
power that shields us in every age.
every
We
age.
thank you and sing your praises
Your
for
praises,
our lives which
which
are
are
in
in
your
your
hand,
are in
hand,
your
for
hand,
our
souls
souls
which are in your
souls which are in your
for
keeping,
the miracles
which
which are
are
daily with us,
daily with us,
and for your
wondrous
wondrous
gifts
gifts
to
at all times, morning, noon, and
morning,
night.
noon, and night.
You are goodness,
You are
and
goodness,
mercies
your
never
mercies
end.
never end.
Never
You are
end.
Your
compassion,
Your
love
compassion
never
never
fails.
fails.
never
You have
fails.
always been our
You have
hope.
always been our hope.
And Everett, would you read for all these things?
For all these things, O sovereign God, let your name be forever exalted and blessed. Let life abundant be the heritage of all the children of your covenant. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Lord, whose nature is goodness, we give you thanks and praise.
And now we sing our prayer for peace, and indeed we certainly need peace at a time like this, and this time we sing the Shalom Rav. Page 37. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Be'elamcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Be'elamcha, Tasim Le'olam.
Avinu Malkeinu, be gracious and answer us, for we have little merit. Treat us generously and with kindness, and be our help. Say
The High Holy Days have so much to offer us. The beauty of the music, inspiring prayers, the stirring call of the shofar, and the Kol Nidra, which wakens our memories to days past. And we urge you to take full advantage of the Holy Days by attending our services either in person or here in Alpine or on Zoom. And we hope you bring some children too. If they're home on Zoom, they can just sit down on the dining room table or on a sofa in the living room and join in. And remember never to be a passive audience. Share as completely and as fully as you can. If you don't have the prayer books or you misplaced them, we can send it out to you or even deliver it if you're local. And in this way, you'll be able to share in the enthusiasm of beginning this new year of hope. Well, another 12 months have passed, and we are all concerned about the direction and the meaning of our lives. Economic turmoil, the violence of our world continue to concern us deeply. The insecurity of Israel's future and the nature of its leadership alarm us. Certainly the intense political activity of this past year, not ending with the election, but it continues to go on and on and on. It's every time you turn on the 6 o'clock news, you wonder what's really going on. It's so hard to really understand. So much of our lives and so much of our minds seem to be trying to enter wholeheartedly into a spirit of prayer and reflection. And this is the time when we can really do it. Because it's a time for us to share together our hopes and dreams, and the High Holy Days have so much to give us. For myself as a rabbi/cantor or cantor/rabbi, the joy of reuniting with friends in the congregation is probably the most important and meaningful aspect of my Holy Day experience. And the beauty of the music, the inspiring prayers. But so much is beyond our control. There's a very, very important message of Rosh Hashana, which should never be that we are never afraid of change. Change is inevitable. As comfortable as we are in the familiarity and the routine of the past, we will have to face whatever the new year will bring. To be sure, we have every right to be extremely apprehensive and fearful, and perhaps things will get better. But even if we face tough times ahead, we have the resources and inner strength to overcome whatever the new year will bring. We look to the future with hope, yet with trembling, knowing that uncertainties will always accompany the days ahead. We are a strong people, and we can handle the various challenges that life throws our way. We may have to struggle, and it does seem that things are they're not getting better in the way that we thought they would a while back. Just this last weekend, the torrential storms of this past week have created terrible upheaval for so many. I've been receiving phone calls from family members and friends. My daughter lost her car, was just completely destroyed by going with everyone else in the housing development where she lives. Everyone's running out and buying cars, so I guess the new car or used car industry, which should be flourishing. Medical emergencies and crises are in jeopardy. What do you do if you have a heart attack and you can't get to the hospital? Simple as that. I've been receiving calls from people who lost their homes. My oldest and dearest friend, Dr. Peter Scharf, who's a retired professor of sociology down at Tulane, he lost his home. It just in the hurricane, it was just completely destroyed. And when I was finally able to reach him, at the urgent and insistence of his daughter, who was going crazy, she couldn't reach him. She was calling from Virginia, and someone else was calling from Alabama. No one could reach him, but I could reach him from Tenafly, New Jersey. So there must be something good about New Jersey. But when I reached him, he told me a sad story about he lost his home. They're eating canned peaches out of a can, no power. And this is a man with tremendous physical problems. He had major surgery a few years ago and was entirely dependent on machines. Fortunately, they were able to airlift him out to Alabama and then to South Carolina so he could be with family. But these are just a few examples of what's going on. Our member Bill Ravolo, an Englewood businessman, he says he's lost everything. His entire inventory was flooded, and he's been spending the last few days. He couldn't come to services tonight because he said there's just so much he has to do trying to bail out all the water-soaked inventory and things that he's. But just so many things are going on just from a weekend of storm, and you magnify that from all these other things that are happening that we can't even begin to speak about it in one moment. Just turn on the news and you'll be brought up to date. So I've been receiving these calls, and the people we struggle to keep going and help. But by clinging to daily routines and vitally important interactions with people who help to shape our lives and we theirs, perhaps we can get through. So in Jewish tradition, especially when events out of our control occur and we feel overwhelmed, we must look within and with God's help, explore our own strengths to overcome adversity. May we always feel that responsibility and be in a position to help ourselves and to help others. Today we've gathered to welcome in a new year and to think about the possibilities that lay before us. And the truth is that although today is significant in that we are here as a community praying, singing, and reflecting, today isn't the day that matters, at least not more than any other day. We often think the day that matters. We often think that Hayom in Hayom Harat alone means today, but it refers to Rosh Hashana itself. Hayom can also mean this day.
We're at services now.
What if the day that matters most is the day in which currently residing? What if it is every day? We've been blessed with an aspect of God that nobody else contains because God needs you to do some work in this world, however small, that nobody else can do. Let's remember that we are the inheritors of a tradition and a part of a people whose history has been marked by struggle and survival, and each generation has built upon the efforts of the last, challenged and strengthened by its own external and internal struggles, caring, always caring, and weeping for our world and marveling at its majesty. I'd like to read a quote from Rabbi Chaim Stern, and it's a quote that you would find in the Gates of Repentance. If you have the book, you might want to turn to page number 14. He says, there is a grace that every dawn renews, a loveliness making every morning fresh. We will endure, we will prevail. We, the children of hope, children of the one who crowds the heavens with stars, endows the earth with glory, and fills the mind with wonder. For this, let us be grateful, and let us say, Amen. Do you play Cheryl? Can I have a Cheryl? beautiful, Cheryl. Thank you.
Beautiful.
And we continue now with the Elena.
Never phone or computer. I am here.
You spread?
Yeah. Didn't know where that came from.
Where are we? Oh, the names for the
Sheldon and Eileen, would you like to read on page 72? May the time not be distant.
Read 72?
72?
Yeah.
72?
I'm sorry, not page 73, I'm sorry. Page 73, the light of fire.
Light of life is a finite flame. Like a candle, life is kindled. It burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our lives are fooled. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seeing. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life.
Before we continue with our reading of the names on our Kaddish list that are read traditionally from our congregation, we would like to remember that this is coming to the anniversary of 9/11, which will be a few days from now. Our congregation lost several people in 9/11, particularly Frank Reisman, whose yard site we will mention this evening. And I think everyone has known someone. The events that we are hearing about, I want to go into that, that's a long story, but it's the events that are occurring in Afghanistan now only remind us that the threat of terrorism and on a large scale, on a horrendous scale that can affect us, is very much with us. And unfortunately, this is one of those challenges that we will have to face this year. We add in the following names. We remember this week Dr. David Lesson, brother of Edith Stein. Gil Brown, remembered by Leslie and Stephen Apollo, Laz and Lil Briger, our dear friends and founders. Benjamin Weinstein, father of Fran Altschuler. Phoebe Friedman, mother of Merrill Summer. Fanny Berger, grandmother of Emily Mann. Maurice Goldstick, grandfather of Toba Goldstick. Louis Divak, father of Dr. Jeffrey Divak. Ray Goody, mother of Robert Goody. Judge Mayor Shapiro, father of Martha Colvin, who's here this evening. We also remember Joan Catherine Weiner, mother of Gail and Carol Ann. Marilyn Weinberger, wife of Michael and mother of Amanda and Ian. Alan Levine, husband of Jody, husband of Joan and mother of Jody, Stanley and Andrew. We remember Lily Leberfeld, wife of Lorraine Ferguson. Lucille Ferguson, mother of Everett Ferguson. Shirley Burland, mother of Susan Penn. We ought to add to them, there's the names of those, we're going to be reading them tomorrow, the names of those who died in Afghanistan, members of the Marines. We'll read their names tomorrow. We say together on page number 73, the words of the Kaddish prayer, Yitkadal Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, B'yalma Divarach Irutei V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon V'yomechon V'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agolav V'zman Kariv V'yimru Amen, Yehei Shmei Rabba Mivarach Leolam Leol Me'amaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitba'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei B'kudsha B'richu, Ve'elam Mikol B'echata B'shirata, Tush B'echata V'nechemata, Da'amiram V'yoma V'yimru Amen, Yehei Shloma Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom V'ramav, V'yaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. And may the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, and comfort to the bereaved among us, as we say, Amen.
Amen.
This time we're going to be saying the blessing over the yontif of the wine. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol am, veromamanu mikol lashon, v'kedeshanu b'mitzvotav. V'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'yahava, et yom hazikaron hazeh, et yom tshuva mikra kodesh, zecher, zecher, letziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, u'levaracha emet, ve'kayam lad, baruch atah Adonai, melech kol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael, beyom hazikaron. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu, v'kiyamanu, v'higiyanu, lahazman hazeh.
Amen.
And for announcements, we're going to be continuing on Zoom tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. I know they say a Jewish 10 is 10:30, but try to Zoom on early, since you don't have to get dressed and you come here, and unless the people who are going to be coming. But if you're in your home, you could try to be here at 10 o'clock.
Make sure it's a Jewish 9:30.
Yeah. Pushing because it's a longer service, and we will be hearing Rabbi Steve Meltz, who will be blowing our Baal Tekiah, who will be blowing the shofar for us during the shofar service, the call to awakening the tradition on Rosh Hashana that we treasure and value so highly. He'll also be delivering a Devar Torah on the Torah reading, the Akedah, which is the story of Abraham and the sacrifice of Isaac, which doesn't take place, but the suspense builds up very much, and he's going to be explaining that, and I'll be chanting the Torah. And we'll also be welcoming some people who have not been with us before, but will be Zooming on. And if you wish to have a part in the service, let me know if you want to call me or Zoom me tonight, or not Zoom me, email me or text me tonight. And I'll see that I call you during the service. I'll just look up and I'll see your beautiful smiling face on our Zoom camera, and you'll get the part. Okay? And so our closing hymn is going to be, what is our closing hymn, Cheryl? Adon Olam, page number 75.
Adon Olam.
Adon
Olam Hashem Olach B'Teren Kol Yitzir Nivra V'Yeik Naso B'Chemso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'Yacharei Kechlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'Hohaya Ve'Hoholem Ve'Hoyeh Ve'Tifarach Ve'Homelech Ve'Yin Sheni L'Hav Shira L'Hav Bira V'Li Reshit V'Li Tachlit V'Lo Ha'oz V'Ha'Misra Ve'Hu'eli V'Chai Go'ali V'Tzorchev Li V'Eitzama Ve'Hulisi U'Manos Li V'Not Kosi Ve'Yom Ekra Hado Afkid Ruchi Ve'Tishon Ve'Yahira Ve'Yim Lechi Gavirati Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu. Eloheinu. Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Barecheinu Barecha HaMeshuleshet HaKetuvah BaTorah Yivarechecha Adonai Ve'yishmerecha Ken Yehi Ratzon
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chonecha.
Ken Yehi Ratzon
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Shabbat Shalom. No, it's not Shabbat Shalom. It's Good Yontif.
Good Yontif.
And we say Shana Tova Tikatevu. May you be written down for a good year. And we hope to see you tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. And it'll be a beautiful service, especially the shofar blowing by
I will do my
Rabbi
best.
Stephen Nuts. That's the best part.
Thank you.
If anyone would like to have a part, if you want me to send you the
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Lashana Tova, everybody.
L'shana tova. See you.
Yom Tov.